The Walking Dead, the zombie drama show that is currently the best rated show on television. This show is big, drawing in 16 million viewers in its highest rated episode alone. And on December 1st, Season 4's explosive mid-season finale aired, and now it's on hiatus until February 9th. And you know what? I love The Walking Dead. I'm a huge fan, I'm an avid follower, and I've got all the episodes on my Xbox. And after the last episode, holy shit, I cannot wait to see where this goes next. But of course, that is only 2 months away. So, got plenty of time to waste. And I've decided to kill that time by counting my top 5 The Walking Dead episodes. There's quite a few episodes, all of them of varying quality, and I've got 2 months to waste. So, let's get to it, shall we? Number 5.
Yeah, when you really look at it, cold light of day. Man, you pretty much dead already.
You know what? I think that Season 2 gets a lot of undeserved hate. I mean, I love Season 2. Even though it is more dialogue and character development heavy than zombie action, I still like it. And of all the Season 2 episodes, I think this mid-season finale was easily the best. Beside the dying fire was mostly just action, and I thought the way the characters reacted to Rick was poorly written. So it basically came down to Killer Within or this episode. And I like this episode better because I felt that it had much better build-up to its big action ending. And when Sophia walks out of the barn and when you see the effect that it has on the characters, it's just such a brilliant emotional scene. And I also got a ton of satisfaction from Herschel finally seeing that the walkers are really dead. With an action-packed, emotional ending, Pretty Much Dead Already is easily the best episode of a seemingly very hated season. Number 4. Internment. Sometimes there's an episode that belongs to a single character, and this episode belonged to Herschel. I loved Herschel already, but this episode just made me love him even more. He's the moral center of the group, and he's putting his life on the line to save as many people as he can. He's kind of the anti-Carol, who just offed the first people suspected of being sick. But not only is this the shining moment for Herschel, Sasha, Maggie, Glenn, they all have great moments. And we also get a really good father-son moment between Rick and Carl when they're just mowing down a pack of walkers that break through the fence. And this episode was intense. I don't remember ever being so on the edge of my seat during The Walking Dead. As sick people started dying and turning into walkers, and as Herschel started to lose control of the situation. This episode was the shining moment of an already loved character, although this also meant that we may very well be saying goodbye to that very same character. Number 3.
I have the clear.
In this episode, Rick, Carl, and Michonne go back to Rick's hometown and meet a very familiar face. Morgan was a great character from the pilot, and to see him reduced to this deranged shell of his former self is a tragedy. And this episode has some of the deepest conversations I've ever heard on the show. My favorite quote is Morgan's monologue about how the weak have inherited the earth. Oh, and just how he describes how he lost his son, Dwayne. And we also get some great character development from Michonne, who throughout the rest of the season was just a katana-wielding badass that really didn't have much else to her. But this episode gave her the much-needed character development that she required. Of all of Season 3, which was a pretty shaky season in my opinion, this episode was easily the best. We got to see a familiar face, we got some deep dialogue exchanges, Dwayne's story was emotional, and Michonne got some much needed character development. Number 2, Days Gone By. When we're talking about best Walking Dead episodes, I'm not quite sure any episode has quite topped Frank Darabont's pilot episode. This 67-minute mini-movie is just packed with so much. We see Rick's life as a cop before the outbreak, and when Rick wakes up in the hospital and is experiencing the aftermath of the outbreak, he's utterly horrified, and so are we. And we learn about the outbreak as he learns. I mean, you could see the horror on his face, and you could see what he's going through as he wakes up into a completely different, almost lifeless world. Morgan was first introduced in this episode, and he is a really interesting character who we also feel for as he lost his wife. And in this episode, we also have my favorite piece of music in the entire series. The scene where Morgan tries to shoot his wife and Rick goes to shoot the bicycle walker is incredibly emotional. And that music is not used again until the Season 3 episode Home. Though as great as Days Gone By is, I lied. There is one episode that does manage to be a lot better than the pilot. And my number 1 Walking Dead episode is Too Far Gone. This episode was big. It had the governor returning to the prison. It had the biggest, most explosive battle in the entire series. Though this isn't just a mindless action episode, there is a ton of emotion in it. And most of it is just build up to the big battle. Most of the episode was just building up, creating suspense, and I was on the edge of my seat the whole conversation between Rick and the governor. And when it finally got to the battle, I was numb the whole time. I've never felt so tense during the show before. And Rick gives a speech that is so great, and for a second there I really wish things could work out with the governor. But it was not to be, obviously. Herschel's death was one of the saddest moments on the show. And that smile that he gives Rick when he gives his epic speech, it's just heartbreaking. Herschel's death, and when Carl and Rick think Judith is dead, makes this the most action-packed and emotional episode in the series. And to top it all off, the governor gets a very satisfying end. Though of course the show is only halfway through its 4th season, and there's plenty more to come, so in the future I'll maybe have to reevaluate my opinions, but for now, these episodes are my top 5 Walking Dead episodes. If you agree or disagree with this video, be sure to discuss in the comments section, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also be sure to check out my blog at The Critical Canucks at blogspot.ca, and also be sure to follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook, all that jazz. Links to all those are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be seeing you next time. Peace out, everybody.